I'm Oregonian sports columnist Bill Oram, and this is the Oram Forum Mailbag Edition. You can drop your own questions in the comments, and as long as they adhere to Oram Forum decorum, we can explore them. Bill, who are your top 5 March Madness villains of all time? From Connor on Instagram. Does Dylan Brooks count? Marshall Henderson, basically anybody who ever went to Duke, JJ Redick, Grayson Allen, Kyle Filipowski, Christian Laettner. For me personally, Craig Smith and the BC Eagles for what they did to the Montana Grizzlies in the second round of the 2006 tournament. Shout out to Larry K., Andrew Strait, and the Grizz. And at the risk of being a prisoner of the moment, Dan Hurley. Ryan wants to know, why haven't the Blazers extended Chauncey Billups yet? Billups has given the Blazers every reason to invest in him. I mean, look at the record. Look at the development of the young players. Scoot Henderson. But here's a wrinkle to watch. Joe Cronin is also due a new contract this summer. And why would Jody Allen let Joe Cronin make the decision on Chauncey if she wasn't sold on him as the head of basketball operations? So those are the dominoes I would look to fall. But Cronin, just like Billups, can make a great case to stay given the turnaround this team has experienced just this season. Bix on Instagram asks, are we expecting a potential Portland baseball franchise to be National League or American League? What a good problem to have, right? On the one hand, you'd think AL for the rivalry with Seattle. On the other, NL for regional balance. Here's the more likely scenario. By the time baseball expands, it does away with the AL and NL system entirely and goes to regional conferences, just like in basketball and the NHL. From Steve. And if the team leaves Portland before the debts are paid? A lot of questions about the actual mechanism of the $800 million bond legislation that state lawmakers are considering right now as it pertains to the stadium at Zidell Yards. This particular piece, though, was answered in a Senate hearing this week where it was made clear that if something were to go wrong, the liability would be with the team and a stadium authority and not on the state of Oregon. Dave asks, hey, Bill, is it just me or does it seem like the March Madness Cinderella story is done and dusted? The gap between the haves and have-nots in college athletics is only getting wider, and this is just one more example of it. Not a single mid-major team in the Sweet 16 for a second straight year. In the NIL age, the best players from small schools will leap to an opportunity at a bigger school, and now we're seeing a consolidation of talent at all of those top programs in the country. It makes for a better basketball product and probably a better chance that the best team's going to win at the end, but it does take away a lot of the heart and soul of what this tournament's always been about. That's it for this edition of the Oram Forum. Follow our continued coverage of all these topics in the Oregonian and on OregonLive.com. And check out the Oregonian Sports Podcast, hosted each week by myself and Coin6's Brenna Green.